When I was 8 years old, I heard a knock on the door, and my parents had gone to answer it. And next thing I knew, I was in a car, and I was going places. And I didn't know where I was going, and I was scared. Life in foster care was like a separation from reality. I didn't know how to act in normal society anymore, because I didn't feel normal.
When I first met Jesse, my first impression was, he seemed like a sweet kid. Until the first couple times we've hung out, he seemed kind of unsure of himself, but I knew that deep down there was a little spark. I didn't really trust him at first. I didn't think, oh, cool, this guy's gonna be, taking me away from all this. But when he did, I felt really happy. When I transitioned from my first mentor, Herschel, to Mike, I felt like Friends of the Children was pulling the wool over my eyes. My first impression of people shouldn't be what I hold against them.
There's an intelligence and a curiosity about him that I immediately just connected. But shortly thereafter, he was in the 8th grade. It was very soon after meeting him that he sort of disappeared.
My freshman year, I wasn't actively seeking any assistance from Friends of the Children, but Mike is very persistent.
My time with Jesse, when I look back at the 6 years that I mentored him, was really sort of, I was constantly chasing him. It was like detective work. Where's Jesse this month? Where's Jesse this week?
When my parents went to jail, I was pretty much left without a house. And that means all the things that come with it, as in clean clothes and food.
His one source of food during that time was the one school lunch, and that's why he had lost so much weight. So I took him to Subway, bought him a couple of foot-long sandwiches, and he told me that day, and I had known him for 5 years at this point, I, for the first time, saw tears in his eyes, and he said, I'm not gonna let myself go down the path that my mom and dad have chosen, and I'm now realizing how much the people in my immediate support system, how much they mean to me.
No matter how I was, he was always civil to me. I wasn't always civil to him. I regret that.
Jesse's situation of homelessness and lack of food and not knowing where he was going to sleep every night really forced me to take a step back from my comfortable middle-class life and look at his life through a different set of eyes. And I realized at that moment that he was teaching me so much more than I was teaching him.
Coming from a kid, things happen to you, things are imposed upon you. And then you go through this transition of realizing, okay, I do have some ownership, I can take some kind of responsibility. And then coming into his young adulthood as a young man saying, this is the ownership and pride I'm gonna take into changing my future. And I'm not gonna let my past define where I go, but it'll help propel me there.
Cafe Friends showed me that you do need a degree of work ethic to be able to find a job. And I feel like it was a turning point. I feel like it's smooth sailing from here on. I'm 18 years old and I got the whole world ahead of me. Now I've been working at Plaid Pantry for a month and a half now. I have a girlfriend, her name's Rose, and she's legitimately the best thing to ever happen to me. Friends of the Children has shown me that it's not always hopeless, and that no matter how low you go, you still got a way to go up.